Hello everyone, friends. We are talking about interesting theories of Poppy Playtime 4 again. Today we will talk about the main villain of the entire series of games. Of course, we are talking about the prototype, whose personality fully appeared in Part 3. And I think that in 4, he will become the main antagonist. But who is he? What will they tell us about him in Part 4? And what does he honestly plan and want? But before we start talking about this, friends, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also write comments about who you want to hear about in the next video. And we begin? Let's start with what we know. The prototype is either Ludwig or Rich based on their history. He protects the toys and children from the scientists, which fits for both of our candidates. But we never know what he is. We know he's human because of the human bone and arteries sticking out of his cloth. But what if I told you that I may know what he is completely? The mimic. A new fact that we know January was that the prototype can mimic. We hear this after speaking in Harley's voice. But what about the other voices he speaks as? If you go to the credits and read 1006's VA, you can see multiple VAs. Eli, Nola, Avalon, Micah and Joaquin. If this is Ludwig, he doesn't have a VA on the list, but Rich does. This could be composed with toys or humans, but that may be unlikely. Since he's composed with different entities, Sawyer should be in the mess, but instead he mimics clearly. By that, I mean his voices aren't fading with the others. But we do know that the prototype's a he, meaning the main soul out of all the rest. It can't be Ollie. But strangely enough, there's one detail you probably missed. Voice of command. There's an intriguing detail that everyone seems to miscount. On Mob's latest video, they released a recap video of Chapter 1. I thought this was unnecessary, but it did reveal some news for the ARG to come back, and a teaser for our potentially Chapter 4 villain. Everyone was asking, including me, who was watching us, because the narrator seemed to say very detailed things to what happened in Chapter 1. Could the narrator be watching us? Or better yet, is the narrator our prototype? Seems like a bit much, but listen. 1006 copied Harley's voice and no other voice he copied yet, but if the prototype, yes, that of Harley, is watching us progress the game, it would make sense. Also, a different detail missed. We assumed that the one speaking to Huggy in Project Playtime is the prototype. If this is the prototype speaking, why isn't his voice fading out like in Chapter 3? Instead, it's a clear voice. A bit of a hunch, but 1006 might have used Harley's voice in Project Playtime. If you listen closely, you could barely make sense out of it. Think about it. Project Playtime was when we were introduced to the Doctor, a scientist who proposed the BBI. Since Project Playtime is a prequel to Chapter 1, it would fit. But why use Harley's voice? It wouldn't make sense to listen to the one who made them monsters. False Shepherd. According to Chapter 3, we learn that the prototype is like a god and Catnap worships him. But if everyone is to follow him, why abandon it? In Chapter 2, after killing Mummy, she screams, terrified for what'll happen to her. She doesn't follow him, but she does while the Hour of Joy was happening. After that, she follows must-own rules, now perhaps finding him as a false god. Another piece of evidence is that of Project Playtime. In one of the loading screens, you can see 1006 puppeteering Mommy. Could he be using the toys to do his bidding? The reason that Catnap follows him was that 1006 was there to Theo like an imaginary friend telling him to go fetch anything he wants. If he is a good guy, what were his plans after the Hour of Joy? To stay there? Of course, for the safety of the other toys, but why exactly? It seems like the toys grew rebellious against him, including Mummy, Poppy, and Kissy. Something tells me that things won't be good in the end. During Chapter 1, players theorized that the prototype was Huggy Wuggy. This theory was debunked in Chapter 2, as one of the journals left by the scientist referred to Huggy Wuggy as Experiment 1170. That's the theory, folks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like it, and comment on